So welcome to Nurturing Business Support. I would love to start with my energy reset. I have a much quicker one. In fact, I'll teach you both of them, okay? If I need to reset my energy like that, the phone is ringing and I don't know, it's someone that I want to be present for. I breathe in what I want through the nose, breathe in what you want. Exhale through the mouth, breathe out everything that is preventing you from releasing into that. And those words I chose very, very specifically. Breathe in what you want, as if it's all around you, it's already there. Exhale everything that's preventing you from releasing into that. So to get what we want, to live what we want, to live who we are, it's not the striving, it's not the efforting, although that's going to be part of it. It's allowing ourselves to be in that space. It's already there waiting for us. Okay. Now the longer one is about 30 seconds. So this I might do, right before I teach, if I haven't just been, meditating and practicing. So basically, if you put your hands on your heart center, close your eyes, breathe in love for yourself. And exhale out nurturing energy for the world. Now, sometimes I have to do this a few times because I could not find that love for myself. So maybe one more time, breathing in the same kind of love you would give to your little one, giving it to you, honoring yourself, seeing yourself, all of your light, and exhaling out the nurturing energy that now you are in a current of that you can share without being depleted. Bring your hands down to your solar plexus. And I like to breathe in through the back of the body sometimes. So breathe in guidance right below your back ribs. And exhale, breathe out wisdom to share with the world. And I like to exhale on a ha breath. You can hear it. It makes it a little bit longer. So one more, breathing in through the back of your body. Guidance. Exhale. Wisdom for the world. And the last one, take your hands down to your low belly. Breathing into the low back, the back of your pelvis, sticking your booty out a little. Breathe in playfulness. You can even give it a little shake. And on your exhalation, rooting down from your low belly into the support of the earth. Standing in your power to shine your light fully. All right. So today I want to talk about as always, the ways in which I've been discovering how unaligned some of my business and marketing practices have been, and ways that I am enjoying being more aligned in all of that. So one kind of big kind of revelation that I've been having, I wrote a blog about it, is just this concept of channeling our soul. And I want to share it with you, not because I'm saying you should believe in any particular thing or life after death or anything like that. It's just, for me, what's most important is really our sense of what's useful for what we want, right? So rather than what is true. Ayurveda has a name for this. In Sanskrit, it's like the star counters. In other words, you can spend your entire life trying to figure out how many stars there are, or you could just enjoy their brightness, right? So what is useful for us? To me, that's exciting. And even tantric yoga is considered to be the Borg. It was the latest conversation about yoga, 600, 800 AD. So much had come before. All the ideas of controlling nature and, Patanjali and even like everything is an illusion, right? Advaita Vedanta. And then tantrics came along and said, we are so lucky to be here in this body for this temporary amount of time. And we're going to use it all. Sometimes it's good to just look at all of our tech challenges and be like, you know what? It's all illusion anyway. I'm projecting this. Let me just go back to what's reality anyway. Right? Or yeah, sometimes we might want to use those more forceful hatha yoga practices, right? to get ourselves in line or something. But ultimately, what this lineage of yoga is all about is just this idea that what is true is the temporariness of life and the undying quality of consciousness, right? Whatever we want to call it, consciousness or the soul or whatever. And then our freedom to choose what we're going to do with it while we're here. That's I think the essence of tantric yoga and really hatha yoga, because that's really where our hatha yoga comes from. So okay, so that said, I was writing a blog and I was realizing there are these two different voices kind of in my head, or sort of two different sort of feelings of or experiences of the writing. And one was I'd be writing kind of in a flow, and then there would be a voice that's like, you shouldn't use that word. It's kind of cliche. My mom was an English teacher, so I wonder what that voice is. Or like, it's not proper grammar or whatever. Or, here's a better word. Even just, here's a better word. I would have to stop and kind of rewrite and rethink, and it would feel a little bit like a struggle. And then there was this sense of the flow that was not a struggle at all. And in fact, I was sometimes there, sometimes not. And I suddenly decided, well, what if I just listen for that one? Sounds really obvious, but like when you get very subtle, you can hear the difference. And I decided this is my soul and I am channeling my soul, right? It made it easier to feel like, oh, this is a person. This is not a person, but I personify it. And it has a playful personality and it knows everything that is good for me. It has the intelligence of like a seed, like the acorn knows how to become an oak tree. And my soul knows what's next for me and where we can go. And so I did that. And so I wrote that blog like that. And it was an incredible experience. I feel like it was the first real spiritual awakening I've had in many years. So I love it. I invite you to experience the flow that way. That said, our soul needs boundaries in order to flow. Why would our soul choose to have a body with all the limitations of a body, the aches and the pains and the temporariness? Because it can't fully express itself without boundaries. And this is the topic for today, how important it is to create boundaries for your creative business-related flow. So many of us who are on this kind of yogic path, or we're very spiritual, or we want to just help people, we recognize there's this bigger intelligence, which is what Ma Yoga is all about. It's just this shift for me is giving it a name and a personality, right? That isn't just the goddess, whatever, but that's related to me, right? I don't know, it's just different. But anyway, we all kind of have a sense of that. We wouldn't be here if we didn't. And we tend to then go, well, we'll see how the day unfolds. We'll see what I feel like doing. We'll see what arises, right? And the problem with that is that we are not actually able then to stay connected to that intelligence and power that is us. But when we create, when we speak to it and we open to it and we say, this is where I want you to flow through, we can develop it as a practice. So there are basically 4 elements of any business, and it spells out care. Okay. We have creating, right? Social media, videos, something that feels like we are sharing our soul's gifts, our uniqueness with the world, with the intention of making the world a better place. So that's not to say we don't create in the other sections, but this creating is really about exploring what happens when we put ourselves out there in different forms. Then we have the admin, which is like most people think is the boring stuff, but that's kind of my easy, happy place because I'm just like, ooh, email automations, I'll do that. And then we have relationships, which I put teaching into even, and outreach and all of that stuff. And then we have education, and education can be a course we're in or just, YouTube videos that we're learning about, right? If we were to look at a calendar, I prefer Google personally, because you can use different colors and you can say busy or free. So, somebody else can make an appointment with me while I'm doing certain of those, but not others. Anyway, and you decide, I am going to give myself some boundaries through which my soul is going to flow. And I am going to be aligned and connected to my deepest truths and what matters most to me in the world, even as I'm doing my admin. It's almost like your calendar becomes the assistant to your soul, your soul's administrative assistant, right? So when you're creating that calendar week, it's a meditation. It's like, okay, what is arising for me that feels like my next step? So for me, and in general, I would say the C and the R should be the time you spend the most, the categories you spend the most time in, creating and relationships. So that said, if you can pick a couple days, and then it won't work. It will not work. You'll try, but like, oh God, I'm so tired at this time, or I eat at this time, or actually I feel like if I want to write a blog, it needs to be in the morning. Okay, that's the process. So you develop when the boundaries can be that will feel most aligned. But I would say it's never easy, right? There is some effort in saying like, I'm going to stop doing this thing, even though I'm right in the middle. I'm in the middle of figuring out why this person didn't get the right email and she's waiting for me. And I really want to help her right now. But the assistant to my soul is calling. I have an appointment with her. And I want her to know she can count on me. And I want her to be someone that I can count on to give me that inspiration during that time that we have set aside. So I'm going to walk away and I'm going to honor this. And even if I'm in the flow at the end of whatever time I've said, I'm going to walk away and know that my soul will be there next time for me. So I hope this helps a little bit with just stepping back and creating a nurturing business, which of course has these 3 meanings, right? It's a nurturing business in the sense that we are nurturing others. And then we want our businesses to nurture us. When I started with this CARE plan, which I got from my teacher, George Kao, Kao, wonderful, amazing content on YouTube for free if you want. I could not believe how much less energy I expended when I was actually writing these blogs that I had meant to write for so long than not writing them. We don't realize our soul is desperate to be expressed. Teaching versus not teaching, it is so much easier. And for those of you who are not teaching right now, I promise you, you will experience this, because if there is any time when you are sort of like resisting, building it up, our souls want to flow, they want to be expressed, and they want a channel to do it in. And it feels really good. So in that way, our businesses nurture us. And then, of course, we want to nurture our businesses. And that's why we come here and we do other things where we can step back from them and just reconnect to the big picture. So I hope this helps. Let me know, and I hope to see you soon.